family, they really love to eat, and in order to make them all happy, I have to use this. This is a rolling pin that my grandma gave me. She gave it to me when she first started teaching me how to bake, which was a while ago. And I'm really close with my grandma. We've always been close, and actually we lived together all the time. And she taught me how to bake, like I said, when I was young. So this has like a really special meaning to me. She learned to bake from her grandma, so me learning to bake from my grandma is kind of important. And she continued to pass down a lot of family recipes to me. And so like it goes from generation to generation. Like I said, this represents family to me. I don't have a very big family, but so it kind of represents mainly my grandma and that. But it also represents family in how when I'm using it, I'm baking for the family, for like family celebrations, holidays, and that kind of stuff. It also helps me to connect with my Hispanic culture because a lot of the dishes, they are Hispanic, they're Mexican, like tamales, and the more sweet ones are like buñuelos and bizcochos. And like a lot of that, it comes down from the family history, like, you know, tradition and all that. Everybody learned it from someone else and they kept passing it on. So like I said, this represents family. And another thing that it helps me to remember is memories, making memories. And since it's baking, a lot of that stuff happens in the kitchen. So for me, I'll never be able to forget the way my grandma's kitchen looked. The stove, it's very vintage, it's yellow and blue tile. It's kind of scary, but I love it. And so yeah, like I said, the oven, and especially the way that stuff smells when it came out of the oven. My grandma has an old school gas oven, so you have to use a match. It's not even like electric, that little click. You have to use a match and light it. And like, you know the kind of quirks, like you have to turn it a certain way, or it doesn't really heat to the number it says it will. You have to like go higher or lower. Also the things that happened in the kitchen, like the stories that she told me about each individual dish, or like, say we're making my favorite dish, which is tamales. It's like a whole big process. It takes, you know, a couple days. And so during that time, she'll share with me like what her grandma told her, how to do it, ways to do it, like you do it like this, or it's easier if you do it this way, and stuff like that. Like I mentioned before, it really embraces my Hispanic culture. Just the certain dishes, like the food itself, each culture has make their own thing. So for me, tamales, and I'm actually the only one that my grandma taught out of her four children and her four grandchildren. I'm the only one that she passed down the recipe to. So that's kind of special because I get to choose whether or not to carry it on and who I'm going to share it with, and you know, if I'm going to tell them exactly what she told me, or if I'm going to, you know, keep it like a secret between us. I get to make those kinds of decisions and eventually pass it down generation to generation like it has been. So with the whole family thing, it represents tradition. You know, like for me, it's a tradition every year to make the tamales, or the time of the year it's traditional. It happens like around Christmas and stuff. And it makes me feel like I'm a part of something bigger, you know, not just the family, but the tradition that it holds. Like, you know, this has happened like many times before with her grandma and before that. So, for me, this rolling pin will always remind me of my grandma and the chance that she gave me to learn what she had to teach, she had to offer. A lot of this stuff, like I said, she didn't share with many people, so it's kind of like, you know, the secrets of what happens in the kitchen and what happens when she brings out this food and all that, and what she's going to make. It also represents togetherness and like the bonds that you share with your family. Because like I said, usually when you're with your family, it doesn't have to be a special time, but it could be like for birthdays or for holidays. My favorite one is birthdays. You know, it's kind of like that's your time, so you get to make, or someone gets to make you whatever you want, and that's cool. So ultimately, I could never put any kind of value on this, and although some people may just see it as a piece of wood, for me it's much more. It's a bond, it's tradition, it's family. It means everything, and it's priceless to me. And it's not only about baking, but it's about learning life lessons. You know, stuff that she shared with me, only with me, or it depends, like, if now we're starting to incorporate the younger generation, my little cousins. So it's like, you know, get to be a part of that and something that gets to be carried on